Welcome back, everyone. Thank you for taking the time. Of course, my name is Hello Good Trade. You may know me as Hello Good Game for the Magic the Gathering arena videos, but it's also quite the passion of mine to be doing the day trading, the investing, and swing trading as well. So we've got a little bit of everything here for you today. This very much is just acting as a journal for myself to hold, one accountable to the review, as it's really easy just to forget about it, not do it, and then I don't even know what trades I took yesterday, or how am I supposed to work that until tomorrow. So some reflection, what went right, what went wrong, and how can we improve, right? So that's going to be what we're going through here today, through what we had take place. Daily theme, I didn't even get one of these down, but let's see if we can try to figure it out, as we are kind of shifting away from the oil theme, with the tensions in the Middle East cooling a little bit. We'll have to see how that unfolds into the future, but looking for something new to hit as a theme. It's always nice to know what's hot and what's not. So throughout today's review, let's try to nail in that theme. Morning watch list, we'll go through this, then we'll talk about our morning trades, and then we'll do the same for the day in the after hours session here as well. So CTOR was the first thing that popped up in the morning. This was going pretty crazy right out of the gate here. And small market cap, high relative volume, a crypto name, but it dies and gives it all back and then some, which is pretty brutal. So just because, again, something's on the watch list doesn't mean we're taking it. The watch list is really just to get ready for the morning trades. And if we get a morning or like a day trade, I guess I should say, if we do get a morning trade, that's going to be a bonus. But it's really just about making that watch list and kind of dialing it in. Up next, BLNE. This had no news, high relative volume, small market cap, which is basically, just what I'm looking for every single day. You're going to notice this pattern in my videos here. And we did end up trading this, but we'll come back to that in a little bit. And NAAS, no news, needs to regain compliance with Nasdaq. So you got to hold that $1. And it looks like they were trying to, but they've lost it here. So we'll have to see if they can get back above that. But it's not great news. You don't ever want to be forced to regain compliance. ULY, no news, high relative volume, small market cap, same old song and dance. And this just exploded. Like, this was so quick. You really would have had to have chased this. And with no catalyst, it's hard to chase it, because you are almost positive that it's going to die throughout the day, because nothing is going to support this move that it's made, right? But it actually held relatively well and could maybe recover tomorrow. So, always kind of adding these to a watch list. Do they continue into tomorrow's trading session, or even the next day for a day 3, which I don't think I've had the pleasure to share with you yet, but I'm sure you're familiar. DTIL is up next. Receives FDA rare pediatric disease designation. There was one that was like kid cancer. I don't think this is it though. But maybe we're kind of getting into a bit more of a theme here, and that news pop was hard, and it immediately gave it back. But this is kind of the scary part, right? Because if I like these news pops, and I always try to re-enter when they claim VWAP again. So news pop, pull back, hold trend, reclaim VWAP, I would be entering here typically. And it's just been all downhill from there, right? So that's pretty scary. And it gave back more than it even had to begin with, which is terrifying. So not a good sign, right? If we're looking at this, we want to stay away from maybe something else that has similar news, right? PSTV was the chosen one. We're going to see how this performs tomorrow as well. I hate penny stocks, but sometimes it is what it is. I think this was even on our list from the other day. We were kind of watching it. It was doing something, and again, just died. But today seems to be a little bit more substantial, giving it back. But then after hours here, this is kind of curious. really finding some strength here. And typically if we can find after hour strength, we'll have early morning continuation, right? Maybe something like this, even though this did end up giving it back, but we'll touch base again tomorrow and look at it. We had a couple trades here that we'll talk about a little bit later. SONM. We were hanging out with this stock the other day. They had that letter of intent to buy out cash at 360 a share. We're getting some new buyout news that maybe it's got NVDA tied to it. A nice trade here in the morning off that news pop. Really good. Where it's just kind of dying but reclaiming VWAP and then holding it up, right? So this is typically what we like to see on those news pops, and something that we seen run the other day, so we had a little bit of a higher conviction to get in right away, because we knew that 360 share was probably still in people's minds. But, just rough market today. Gave it all back. Brutal. And that's the importance of scaling out quickly, right? Because, not everything's going to run for multiple days. A lot of these things will just, give them back. PRTG. Regains full compliance with Nasdaq, and just, it's chilling. Not great, it's like even in the moment here, like this was just a news pop, died, retest trend, reclaim VWAP a little bit, but then ultimately couldn't do it. So, not really liking those news pops unless substantial news, right? Like PTSV's news was a little bit better with the treatment of childhood brain cancer. Like that's like a little bit more substantial, in comparison to Regain's compliance with Nasdaq. GCTK up next here, just as our morning watch list. This was actually aggressive all morning. It just ran and continued to do so. But then, because it ran so hot, like from 7 to 15. It's got to cool down, right? And it just gives, like shorts a really nice entry position when things run too hot into open, which is not always great, right? But as you can see, this is like, you get the news pop, right? Breaks down, reclaims VWAP. So like this is typically where we'd like entries. Stop losses below the swing low. If we were going to get in on this, we didn't, but it would be something like this. And then our 1-to-1 is down here, right? So we enter above VWAP, which did get rejected a little bit, but our stop's below the swing from the recovery, right? And, this trade, if we would have played it, would have just been beautiful here, right? It ended up going to... 3.7, even just a casual 3.5 here, from our ideal entries, which did get rejected and could have been far more optimal. But, that's not what it's about. It's where would I have entered the trade? It's the same thing. It's the news pop, breakdown, VWAP reclaim. Here's our entry. There's the stop, and this is what the play would have been, right? And this is like a glucose monitor that they've got going on or something with that news. They presented positive final results for our first in-human study, which is, it's always good to be studying animals. Humans, not animals. Sometimes I feel like they're animals too, but it depends if I've eaten or not for the day. Anyways, let's go through our morning trades. I don't want to keep you guys too long. BLNE in the morning. We already talked about no news, high relative volume, small market cap. Right? So, it's got that pop up, then a retest, holds the 200. And I was having a lot of success yesterday picking things up off the 200 that we're able to hold, right? So we like that. We see this action. We like that. We see the reversals about to set. We want to get in on that. A little premature. This wasn't an optimal entry, right? We got in right at the freaking top of this thing before it crumbled down. But, we hold that 200. Our stop is under it, and the rest is history, right? So again, suboptimal entry. I'm not perfect. This is what the review's about. Could I have had a better entry? In the last case, yes. In this case, yes. Maybe we're gonna work on those, right? We get the 1-to-1. We get the 2-to-1. The reclaim of VWAP is nice, but ultimately it can't hold. Breaks down. and the 3 and 5 to 1s, and 4 to 1 for that matter, don't end up working out. And, we already mentioned that this died all day. ULY is on the bottom. That's right here. Again, this is a news pop, right? Really aggressive news pop. Dies, loses VWAP, holds trend, right? This is like the 9 EMA it's holding. I don't use that, but that's where it would be. It reclaims, and we kind of took, again, an early entry here. I'm a little bit aggressive on these entries this morning. Stop below the swing low of the recovery, right? Just like we did before. And we get our 1-to-1, scale out. Good enough. And that's the importance of scaling out, because, things don't always go to that 2, that 3, that 4, the 5 to 1 that we like to get. So always, again, selling that 80% originally at our 1-to-1 risk reward. Then we're going to go SONM at the top. This was a little aggressive. The news pop breakdown and VWAP recovery was very volatile in the morning. And I kind of avoided it because of this. But then it just it kept wanting to go, right? So we get in on it. Stop loss is below this most recent swing and recovery, right? Keeping it tight. We get the 1-to-1, we get the 2-to-1, and then eventually, here's the 1, here's the 2, this is the 3 right here. This would have been 4, but we did not get it. Got close. We got close to the 4-to-1. And again, it's the same story as always. And we've gone through each of these twice now, because once through the watch list and now once through the trade breakouts. But again, it's the same story. News pop breaks down through VWAP, reclaims. Take your entry on reclaim with your stop below the swing of the reclaim, and then just try to scalp it up. Not great plays. I prefer, the reversal plays to the news pops, but you just get what you can, right? So that was our morning session, and then we had NKTR, which we brought to everyone's attention yesterday. This is kind of continuing here today, right? Yesterday, and even the night before, we had this on our watch list, and then massive pop, holds and continues. Get continuation this morning, but does break down. Really nice that it continued, though. So we're going to watch this in the days to come, right? And maybe even weeks to come. SRFM. This had a Palantir interest, but I'm almost certain that it's just a vested stock agreement that they're being awarded. So I'm not entirely certain on that news. I didn't get too far into it. And then they had a massive offering in the afternoon, I believe, as well, which just cements the death of this. This is over. Unless it just has massive strength, but I don't think the news was what people thought it was. Then we have ICU. An update on their Nasdaq listing, and we actually had a negative trade here that we'll go through. Not all winners. You got to talk about the bad ones too, right? And then SAFX. This had synthetic aviation fuel news yesterday, which didn't really do anything. But today, did the rocket ignite? So that's pretty cool. We'll go through our daily trades here. ICU on the top. This is the one we just had pulled up. And, I'm trying to play things that run aggressively off the 200, right? We kind of see it hold. I'm like, okay, let's get in on the 200. Just put a stop below here, right? That last low. So, we're going to go from making higher lows is what we want. And if we get a low lower than this, that's going to be lower lows, and that's something that we don't want. So we almost get that 1-to-1, really, really close, but I didn't get the sell in. I didn't get the sell, and we got to get stopped out here, and it is what it is. So predefining your risks, super important. We have our entry model, we know where our stop is, and it's just they don't all work out all of the time. We do have a reversal here after hours and some serious movement, but it did give it back again, so that's kind of curious. We'll see how this performs tomorrow. And then PSTV was on the bottom. We're taking this in the afternoon. I like the news. Curing cancer for kids seems great, and it just kind of died all day. But we get that reversal in the afternoon, and then we pair it with a key level breakout, which is the reclaim of the 200. Right, the red line is able to kind of now act as an area of accumulation. Then after hours, we get a massive pop up. I think I had secondary news, which is cool, confirming that 1-to-1. We're still working on that 2-to-1. We're going to hold these runners overnight and see where this gets us tomorrow morning. And then that kind of carries on into our after hours trades, which, we've not done any. But we do have an after hours watch list, ADIL. Secures US-based manufacturing. Low market cap, right? That's kind of what we like to see, and some movement. With it holding the 200, hopefully into close. There's still 45 minutes left in after hours, so this could be really nice into tomorrow. DOR. So this thing had an offering, and like turbo recover. And wow. So I when I started the video, we were down here or something, right? Yeah, so it had news, popped up, immediately had an offering, which is dirty. But look at the recovery on that, making new highs. Definitely adding this to our watch list for tomorrow. Had a license agreement with someone for late stage autoimmune assets. Yeah, I mean, that's 103 market cap too. This is a bit of a bigger company here, no doubt. So must be substantial news, right? I'm not a medical expert by any means, and that's why we always are going through the news, reviewing it, what news is performing, what news isn't performing, so we can act accordingly in the future, right? And then MAPS, MAPS, updated stockholders on the status of a non-binding proposal from co-founders regarding potential take private offer. And so, when you take something private, you can't, I don't think that's great for liquidity purposes, right? It kind of locks down that liquidity. So there's probably not great for long term unless they turn it around. I don't know. That's one of those corporate decisions, and you got to be in tune with the companies for that. So again, adding it to the library of things that we might not like, take privates we might not like. But it's a pretty big company, 100 millions. We'll see how it plays out into the future. We're mostly, I guess, watching VOR and PSTV into close here and tomorrow. So that's my review for you. As far as the day trades go, how did the market perform today? Well, we were down. Trump said, well, there could be reignited tensions in the Middle East, and then away we go, right? So we'll see how that unfolds into the future. I can't believe we broke up so aggressively. I was kind of preaching retest of trend. We had our downtrend here drawn. It's like, okay, we're going to break this support and go down lower where we can finally get some really good deals and a nice discount. But we don't. We just test the 21 moving average, and we're back up, which is insane to me. And like I said, day by day, these averages move up and our supports with them, and it looks less likely that we're actually going to get a dip. Like, even when we did have all of that tension, it was nothing. It was a baby dip, and then as soon as the tension was over, it got consumed by these massive expansion bars. And we even have a gap on the 1 day, which is terrifying. So I guess that's our new ad zone, right? Where am I? Right? We get a new gap on the 1 day, which, we had down here, right? This gap. And then it breaks up, retests, and then we're gone. So, maybe we've got the gap, breaks up, retests into the gap, which could align with that downtrend as support, right? What was resistance turns into support. And where we go, I don't know. We'll see. This is so strong. The market just is eating the bad news for so long. It's crazy. and it just continues to eat it. You know, we're ready for all-time highs here again soon, right? Like, it's not that far up, literally right here. I thought it was higher though, so this is kind of. I thought it says 613. Well, maybe that's intraday though. If we go 4 hours, then we'll see the 613. Nope, we don't. This is what I have, 609. I know this says 613 though. Yeah, 52-week range, 613.23. Where is it? I'm sure we've seen 611. No, this is it. This was our high. 609. I don't know where that 613 is coming from. Anyways, and then GameStop we could talk about maybe. I don't think it really did anything today so much. I've not checked in. They closed, and that was in the last video where that the note offering is coming to completion. So in the following days, we could see some improvement. I think the off-exchange volume was record-setting today, like 73% or something silly. So I think you get a lot of longs going in off the books, so it doesn't really hit the tape with block orders. I'm not an expert on that by any means, so we'll see. I think we'll probably witness some positive price improvement in the coming days. I wanted a double bottom on this, but yeah, I think this is as close as we're going to get to that 22.15, unless things go horribly bad. We see the stores getting a remake in the States, which is great to be more focused on collectibles. So when maybe we get a press release on that, probably not. I wouldn't expect that. Maybe just kind of waiting to see if they buy more crypto or something, right? Nothing new on GameStop. I actually bought some more calls today, though, I guess. Wow. Whoa. Okay, VOR is so strong. Yeah, I got like a January 2027 65, which is like super leap. Just a nice volatility play. It was really quite cheap. And I think I grabbed another 22 for October. So just kind of collecting while we're on low IV here, because it only takes a day to, melt that low IV. Well, reverse melt, I guess, burn it up. And then it's never coming back. So buying lots of time on our contracts and trying to buy them close to the money unless we have a ton of time, right, for the 65s. So that's more of a if we get something fun, right? Because there's so much time, it's going to be really, really easy to manage them, right? Like they're not going to move day to day very much. Anyways, that's the whole video. VOR until tomorrow, PSTV until tomorrow. Pretty nice trades for the day. 1 red trade, like 5 green trades, which is great. So our hit rate's really nice, and just continuing to work on it. Maybe getting a little bit better at this process. Maybe we switch it into 3 videos, like the day trades, the SPY recap, and the GameStop. But the SPY recap and the GameStop are so quick, and 9 times out of 10 really only take a minute or 2 to do. It's not like GameStop's moving every day, right? Not like VOR is. Oh my God. Dang. Even to play this breakout here would have been no problem, right? The breakout, retest, and that's it. Oh my God. Where is this thing going? Let's check this out before we end the video on the 1 day. We've already cleared the 200. Is there a gap here or anything? No. No. I don't know. Maybe we test here. That seems pretty decent. It's like the support rejection areas. We've already cleared that. It's continuing upwards. Wow. So I would probably be taking profits here. Like if I was in this trade, this is my take profit area, right? So you see me do the risk reward here. a lot, but you can also just grab liquidity levels and also watch the level 2 order book for big sales, right? But I would definitely be scaling out here, and we'll just hang on for a second because, you know, in a world of green bars all in a row, it seems coincidental that we get a rejection on that level. No, never mind. It's just so strong. My lord. Okay, no, wait. We're going to have to check in on this tomorrow to see if we do get rejection here. I think there definitely should be. And it's running too hot. But the news, you know, sometimes the news and the catalyst just outweighs everything and drives so much volume. Like, this is up 50 million in the last few minutes as far as the market cap expansion. Really impressive. Yeah, we are rejecting that level almost perfectly. At least finding some resistance there. Whereas through these two levels, it's basically just free flowing, right? That's beautiful, right? And that's a really easy way to make sure that you're confirming those profits along the way, whether you're right or wrong. Protecting yourself, scaling out along the journey is definitely a part of it. So whether you're using the risk reward ratios or liquidity levels, you know, just kind of get used to both of them, right? And we are. So have a great night. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see how high more goes. There's 34 minutes left till close. My golly. That is insane-o. Off of a offering, too. Wow. All right. Y'all have a great night. Take care.